Just because Pam Bondi, Donald Trump's new appointment for Attorney General, isn't on her surface as scary, potentially, as Matt Gaetz would be, it doesn't mean that she's not equally dangerous. Because Pam Bondi is an election denier. Pam Bondi is a Trump cultist, and Pam Bondi will do what she is told. And that's why we have to call her out with the same vigor that we did Matt Gaetz, and that is exactly what Congressman Jamie Raskin was doing today. Not only calling out Pam Bondi, but calling out Trump as well, in a clip that I cannot wait to check out. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me. Now let's get into this incredible takedown from Congressman Jamie Raskin.
Committee, so let me start there, because we've seen this cycle of things happen quite a bit in the past, although this is like an extreme version of it. Pam Bondi is the new nominee to be Attorney General. What should people be asking about her?
Well, one of the functions of doing the background security clearances and the regular vetting process is that the basic facts can be out there, and then we can focus on somebody's ideas and what they've actually done. And so in some sense, all of this scandal serves them pretty well. I mean, if you think about the case of Hegseth, well, we're focused on the alleged sexual assault that took place with this woman. We're not focused on the fact that he says women should not be allowed in a combat
And we
roles
should be, absolutely.
It's part of a whole gender ideology he has. Now, Bondi, again, we're just piecing together the details now, but she's somebody who's been a very loyal Trump partisan, including on election denialism. So she's gone on TV to echo election denialist claims. She has made false allegations about cheating in the 2020 presidential election, which still they adhere to, even though, we have 60 federal and state court decisions rejecting all of their fraudulent claims. And she has played that role for Trump all along. So she's a very loyal partisan. So in her case, I think we've got to be focused on what are they going to do with the Department of Justice? Are they going to convert this institution, which has been an implementer of law enforcement and has improved dramatically over time, into the president's personal law firm and an instrument of vendetta and retribution?
This is such an important point, and I've talked a lot about the qualifications piece, too. I'm so glad you raised that, because the Washington Post is reporting that Donald Trump plans to fire the entire team that worked with Jack Smith, perhaps not a surprise, in the 2 federal cases against him, and they've also said they're going to resign, including career attorneys typically protected from political retribution, all of them. He also plans to redirect DOJ resources to investigate the 2020 election. Pam Bondi is somebody who would be leading the Department of Justice. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you're horrified by that. I'd love to get your reaction. But I also wanted to ask you, people feel very powerless out there. What can Democrats do if that's where Donald Trump wants to move the resources of the Department of Justice? Is there anything that Democrats can do?
Well, look, the Trump was not elected with any kind of positive agenda for the country. I mean, his most detailed agenda was around immigration and deportation. They are already starting to try to alter laws around the country to build in a political advantage, like in North Carolina, where the Democrats swept a lot of the state constitutional offices. The outgoing Republican state legislature is trying to entrench Republican power, taking powers away from the governor and giving them to the state auditor. And I view what I think we're about to see at the Department of Justice in exactly the same light. They want to go back to all of the lies about 2020, which have been debunked ad nauseum. They want to install people who are going to prosecute the prosecutors, as Bondi has said. And it looks like a completely different kind of institution from the one that has been built up through both Democratic and Republican administrations in the past. So it looks to me like a recipe for nonstop political warfare. I mean, I liken the time I think we're in very much to like 1798 with the Alien and Sedition Acts, where the only program was anti-immigrant hysteria and then prosecution of political enemies and attacks on the other party and attempts to entrench the majority party. That didn't work out so well for the Federalists. And Thomas Jefferson really led the opposition there. And he said to people, a little patience and we'll see the reign of witches pass over and their spells dissolve and the people recovering their true sight, restore their government to its true principles. So he urged people to have patience, but also to be strong and to persevere through a period like this.
Just because Bondi doesn't have some of the history, to put it lightly, the unpalatable nature that Matt Gaetz came along with, doesn't mean that she's not as potentially dangerous as Gaetz would have been. What we're worried about is how Pam Bondi will weaponize the Justice Department, the same accusation that Republicans made against Merrick Garland, who we could easily said didn't even do his job because he was so scared of being perceived as weaponizing the Justice Department. But that's what Pam Bondi wants to do. That, of course, is what Matt Gaetz wanted to do, and that's what Donald Trump will force his AG to do, no matter who it is. Pam Bondi is simply Donald Trump's new vessel, and that's why Jamie Raskin was calling both of them out. But like I said, we did defeat the Matt Gaetz nomination pick, and that is important. This is not as scary, like I said, on its surface, but what's pretty funny, and we're allowed to have a little bit of positivity, is the outcome of all of this for Matt Gaetz, who we thought might kind of slink away into the shadows, be quiet, but no, the grift never stops for MAGA. And that is the case as well for Matt Gaetz, who recently got on Cameo, yes, Cameo, and is now doing videos for pay. It's Matt Gaetz used to be the one paying for things, and now I'm not even going to get into that. But let's check out this ridiculous video that he had to make in this clip right here.
Hey, Lisa Kovac, it's your favorite former Congressman Matt Gaetz. I just wanted to thank you for being a longtime patriot, for supporting President Trump through thick and thin, and I know you were bummed out when the news broke that I wouldn't be the next Attorney General. We did get a great replacement in Pam Bondi. She's going to do an awesome job. You have nothing to worry about. But hey, listen, I'm still going to be in the fight for you and your family. And I know things are tough right now dealing with your car and Bruce, and I wish him a very speedy recovery.
Looks like money might be a little tight for Matt Gaetz. Doesn't have the cash laying around that he used to for those Venmo payments. Not that I want to joke about that, but clearly Matt Gaetz the joke here now, as he has been before, but at least it's being pointed out now. Now, we've seen some people float that Matt Gaetz might potentially be running for governor of Florida. That is a terrifying proposition, but I'm not sure with how many Republicans there are, unfortunately, in my home state who have a shot at that seat, who have a shot at the governor's mansion, that Gaetz would be the front runner. And so it makes me feel a little better that he could just kind of wallow away into obscurity. Maybe he'll start a podcast, and that's the most damage Matt Gaetz is able to do. But there's still more information that we deserve on this story that's certainly not going to come out in some Cameo video, and that is the ethics report on Matt Gaetz that we deserve to see, and that was perfectly stated by Adam Schiff right here.
And joining me now is Democratic Senator-elect Adam Schiff of California. Senator-elect Schiff, welcome back to Meet the Press. Congratulations.
Thank you. Great to be with you.
Yeah, great to have you here. Let's start off by talking about Matt Gaetz. You just heard me talking with Senator Schmidt about this. He's obviously no longer in contention to be Attorney General, but there's still this report swirling around him. The House investigation, the House Ethics Committee has launched this investigation. Details of it started to leak out this week to some members on Capitol Hill. But do you think that report should be made public?
I do think it should be made public. I don't think that when someone decides to avoid the public accountability, they simply leave Congress and make it all go away. The taxpayers paid for that analysis and that report. I think they have a right to see it.
Do you think it will be made public? Do you have any indication?
I don't know. It seems like on a party line basis, Republicans are saying, no, the public has no right to see this. And what's more, we don't want the public to see this. But it underscores to me why the president's lack of background checks for his nominees is flawed. He may have still decided to nominate Matt Gaetz, but if they did a thorough vetting, he may have decided not to. That vetting process, having the FBI review potential nominees, it's not only to protect the public interest, it's to protect the president-elect's interest, to make sure that he's not embarrassed by nominating someone like Matt Gaetz. So I think it shows a flaw in the process that he even got nominated. And, you know, perhaps with the respect to Hegseth as well, had a thorough investigation been done, it might have influenced the president-elect's decision to nominate him in the first place.
We as taxpayers paid for that ethics report. We made it happen. I think we should be able to see it, at least. I think we deserve that at minimum, because we should be able to use it to show the type of person that Donald Trump wanted within his administration. Because the only reason Matt Gaetz isn't still Donald Trump's nominee, the only reason he didn't try to push him through is because Republican senators wouldn't allow it. Not because Donald Trump had any personal problem with Matt Gaetz's real personal problems, and we need to continue to call that out. And it's exactly what we're going to do every single day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.